Ebullient greetings. I'm your host, Jacquie Bird of Jacquie Bird Spiritual Wellness, your guide to stress and anxiety relief, mindfulness, awareness, self-care, self-love, and personal growth. Welcome and thank you for joining me as we roll with peace in mind. Hey, beautiful people. I hope you're doing well. And if you're struggling and not doing so good, I hope that turns around for you really soon. But in the meantime, remember, it's about living our best lives and how we can use our minds to make that happen in terms of being more conscious about what we think and say. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. But before I get to that point, I want to just tell you, yes, I've got some events coming up because I always got something going on. So November 15th, Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. is my mid-month tune-in. And it's a guided meditation with sound healing. It's over Zoom. It's a virtual deal. So I hope that you sign up for that. I'd love to meet you. So come on through for that. And hey, we are in some stressful times in our own lives and in what's going on in the world. And to be able to just take a moment to breathe, connect, ground, reset is very valuable for us to move to the next phase and the next step and all that other good stuff. Now, my other event, which is December 13th from 1 o'clock to 2:30, is an in-person deal, and it is my Kaleidoscope, a stress relieving odyssey. This is the second one. It is located in downtown Jersey City, same place it was last month. So if you are local to the New York City area, or you can get to the New York City area, or you will be in the New York City area, register for this class. This is going to be really fabulous. We had a great time last time. It was a beautiful vibe. People were really appreciative of it, and I'm looking to do it again. And yes, it's in the middle of the holiday season, but I'm telling you, like I don't have to tell you, how stressful that time is. And it's always good, again, just to step aside and have some fun, relax, breathe, stretch, dance, because that's what we're going to be doing. And just, to give yourself an time and moment. I've got something coming up in January as well. I will announce that once I get all the particulars straight. But that's also, well, I shouldn't say also going to be in New York, but it's in the New York City area. It will be in the city. So look for that if you can't make the December deal. But again, tune in, catch one of my virtuals. Those will be coming up. I'll be scheduling more of those in the month of December. So just stay tuned and look at the description, my description for this episode. There'll be the links to register for either the virtual or the in-person or both. Hey, that would be just fabulous. So anyway, today's riff is criticism. Yeah. Criticism. We are so quick to criticize. We criticize ourselves, that inner critic thing that I talk about a lot. We criticize people, things, places, etc. You name it, we criticize it. Matter of fact, I riff on this topic a lot because it's so insidious. We do it so often and so freely that much of the time we are totally unaware while we're doing it. And it's not uncommon to be out and about and, going past a group of people and they're kvetching or bitching about something, someone, someplace. As I said, it's insidious. We do it and we don't think about it. But one thing to know, criticism doesn't feel good. Maybe we delude ourselves into thinking it does, but it doesn't. The next time someone is being critical, take a look at their face. Usually there's a look of unpleasantness, and boy, do that often enough, it takes shape in the face itself. I remember my Nana always telling me when I was a kid not to frown because it would leave wrinkles. Luckily, I listened. Well, sort of. But I'm working on that because we're all works in progress, right? Hopefully, yes. But ask yourself, how much time in your day do you spend criticizing or critiquing or complaining? It's one thing to critique if that fits your job description, but how you critique is something to be aware of. Do you throw flame arrows at the folks under you, or do you critique with compassion and awareness? And I can hear some of y'all in management positions saying some workers need to be yelled at to get anything done. They need a dressing down to be effective. What do you mean talk to them nicely? Now, I'm sure that it's as stressful to you as it is for them when you are being negatively and harshly critical. It can't be possibly an enjoyable thing. But again, we get into these habits and we don't stop to think how our actions affect not only others, but ourselves. You can figure out if there's another way and it's for your sanity and for theirs as well. And it creates a toxic environment. I've had friends that have had managers that were just unreasonable. And you understand, of course, that there's somebody over them probably making their life miserable, and so on and so forth. We tend to trickle down the misery. But having a mindfulness practice, being interested in personal growth, you want to learn to move away from that way of being, because as I said, it doesn't benefit you, let alone the person that is being hurled at. Now, some of you may know, in addition to being a wellness guide, I choreograph for children ages 8 to 18. I'm going to just let that sit with you for a minute. I choreograph for children from ages 8 to 18. And I work with upwards of 400 to 600 children, ages 8 to 18. Okay. I have been working with this organization, the Young People's Chorus of New York City, for many years, and it is a wonderful, as I digress a bit, it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful organization. And as the year is coming to an end and you may be thinking about, who you're going to donate, please consider them. The Young People's Chorus of New York City. It's ypc.org. Look them up. What they do is phenomenal. And I'm not saying that just because I'm attached to them. They are phenomenal. And what they do for these young people is pretty extraordinary. Make sure you check out their site. Again, it's ypc.org, the Young People's Chorus of New York City. So anyway, as I was saying, I work with a boatload of children. Well, actually it'd be more like a ship load of children. And if you work with children or you have children, they don't always listen very well. And so when I am with them, I do a lot of yelling. And I have had to learn over the years, because I would leave rehearsal and I would be in knots. I would be so pissed because I've had to repeat myself 40,000 times. They weren't paying attention. All the stuff that goes with the territory. But it would get my goat. It would just irritate me to no end. And over the years, I've had to learn, Bird, it ain't that deep. Calm down. Just breathe. And sometimes, instead of yelling, when I remember, I would just sit down. Or I'll stop talking. And usually somebody peeps what's going on and they help shush the other ones, because they know I'm a little annoyed. Now, that is one of the things and part of my journey that I'm working on to get better at, to be calmer and not be as critical as I can be. And that comes from years of being a choreographer, an assistant choreographer, always in a position of telling people what to do and having not enough time to achieve or work on the things that I've been given to do. So it's definitely something to consider. And as I have managed to not yell as much, I'm much more calm and more fun. So it's about making conscious choices, not allowing your emotions or your annoyance to get the better of you, where you snap back at somebody and you're just like uber negatively critical. But back to the previous question. How much time in your day do you spend criticizing, critiquing, or complaining about something? It's not just people, it's things, situations. There's a lot in the world going on. A lot of us don't like what's happening. And sometimes that can be the predominant subject in a conversation with another person. And so you have spent all of that conversation bitching about what you don't like. Okay, so back to my question again. How much time do you spend criticizing, critiquing, or complaining about something? Take a moment. Think about that. Is it 25%? Be honest. 50%? 75%? Or would you say, if you're being really honest, that you spend 100% of your day complaining, criticizing, or critiquing? And you may not have the answer right away, but be honest with yourself and start to observe. Just observe what happens in the course of your day. And it's not just like the out loud critiquing and complaining. It's the inward, the mental dialogue we have with ourselves that's a lot of times of a negative nature. You know, we tend to, especially people that like gemstones and crystals and stuff like that, or smudging or any of that kind of thing. A lot of people do it because they feel they need to block other people's energy. Oh, I need this, I need black tourmaline so that I can block the energy of my coworkers. But it's not the negative energy of others, it's your negative energy. That is the only thing you have control of. And a lot of that is through observing yourself, observing how you feel in the course of the day. That's always your giveaway. Are you feeling crappy? Are you feeling cranky? Are you feeling annoyed? What have you been thinking? And you tie that and you go, oh, that's why. What can I do to change that? And we always say, at least in the US, I don't know about other parts of the world. Maybe you have other things that you say, but every 5 seconds somebody's going, life is short. Okay. So a lot of people subscribe to that. Life is short. So think again. How much of your time do you want to spend with your face screwed up? And trust that every harsh word or thought, the effects of that negative energy settle into your body and lower your vibration and lowers your frequency. So, as I said, as you go through your day, pay more attention to what's coming out of your mouth and rolling through your head. Am I complaining or am I appreciating? Because the more you find things to appreciate, the more things flow into your life to appreciate. And speaking of appreciation, let the people that you love know that you appreciate them. And if you have a partner, and it's easy to get into this thing with your partner where you're uber critical, you're criticizing things that they do. And Yeah, of course, there are things that they do that you don't like. But when you recognize, and I hope that you do, that they are making an effort, let them know that you notice it. Hey, I noticed you did XYZ today. I noticed that you did that. Thank you. That acknowledgement goes a long way. Appreciate more, complain less. Catch yourself. Pay attention to what comes out of your mouth and what goes into and through your head. Become more aware of you in your space. Be kinder to yourself. Lessen up on the self-criticism, because that's some lethal energy to hurl at yourself on a daily basis. Ooh, child, my nose too big, my butt too big, my face is too long, my hair is too stringy, all that stuff that we just say to ourselves and to others about ourselves. Ooh, that's a little rough. Self-care is more than getting your nails and feet done. It's more than eating healthy and exercising, though that's all part of it. But the part that we tend to skip, because this is so freaking hard, is how we treat ourselves mentally. You know, I got criticized a lot when I was a kid after my mom died. And you know, for a lot of us, that is and was our reality. We had uber critical parents or a family member or a teacher. And, you know, for me, it was unrelenting. My stepmom was a constant barrage of criticism, always hurled in my direction. Hardly ever, or so it seemed, at my younger brother, because he was the boy, he was the male. I was expected to be perfect according to her standards. And anywho, what I realized that in later years, when I was out and free of her, was her voice was what I carried. That was the one who was never satisfied, always pushing. It wasn't before I began to do some deep inner work that I was able to identify and quiet that mouth. Embracing myself fully was key. And then I began to realize that most of her criticism was due to her background and circumstances that were pretty rough and trying. Like, toward the end of her life, I learned a lot more about her than I ever knew. And she had it rough. You know, the people around her weren't very loving, and she grew up feeling that she had to fight for everything. And when you come up like that and you are extremely contentious and combative without really realizing it, and it's just a knee-jerk reaction, you don't realize how much damage you have done to yourself and to the others around you, particularly if there are little ones that are in your care. How that harsh word and all ever critical voice can hurt and damage another person. Looking inside helps to break the cycle that is so often generational. As you begin to change habits that don't apply to the person that you're becoming, which is always ongoing, by the way. Growth is ongoing. As you learn that there are voices that you've carried in your head, like the example I gave of my stepmom, you know, and it's not to say that all her criticisms were unwarranted. Some of her criticisms were on point, and some of them I was able to learn from. Some of them did make me grow, but it wasn't very loving the way it was delivered, I tell you that. But anyway, treat yourself better using compassion and awareness, and you'll treat others better too. Heck, you may notice that people treat you better as well. That will help make your part of the universe shine brighter and shed light onto others, because that's ultimately what really makes things cook, is when you're kind to yourself and when you're kind to others. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Please share, please share, please share. Please subscribe. Download my podcast, tell people about it. Help me make this baby grow. Check out my website, JacquieBirdSpiritualWellness.com. I've got music, I've got a book, I've got other stuff there. I do custom audio, guided meditation. So if you can't make any of my events, order a custom guided meditation. All kinds of good stuff. But in the meantime, treat yourself better and remember to roll with peace in mind.